Hey friends, so it is time to talk a little bit more about tariffs. And look, this is going out on YouTube. This is going to be a very timely topic where some details, if I were to start talking and getting into the weeds about the details, are going to become irrelevant in like a week. So instead, what I want to do is talk about tariffs, but talk about the chaos that it's causing right now and how you can still manage in your small jewelry business, even in spite of the coming chaos and the current chaos. So there's a lot of whiplash right now, and likely a lot of questions that you have. Things like, will my equipment costs go up? Hey, where did I get these setting burrs from? How is this going to impact the price of gemstones? And how are you supposed to prepare for all of this? These are certainly the questions that have been on my mind, and I'm sure on yours as well. Seriously, though, this industry has taught me so much about not just supply chains, but about figuring out my place in it. And right now, that place is helping you figure out your place in it and helping you figure out how to manage through the chaos. So let's dive into figure it out mode together. And step one is going to be the same step that you will actually use throughout the course of your business. This is not actually a tip for crisis time, this is a tip for all the time. And that tip is to know your numbers. Now, what does that mean? Because numbers can mean a lot of things, especially in a jewelry business. Do I mean the millimeter width of your bands or the weight of your casting? Yes, those things are important. But the core numbers that you need to know are things like your profit margins, your cost of goods sold, your inventory levels, your cash flow, your profit and loss statement. These are the numbers that are going to help you make decisions and manage within your business. And it helps by providing you the core information that you need to make these decisions. And among the ways that this helps you is sometimes by teaching you which numbers in your business are more important to you than others. So I talked earlier, mentioned the burrs. Where do your burrs come from? Are they going to be impacted by the tariffs? Well, if you know your numbers, then you can actually say with some confidence whether or not an increase or a decrease in the price of a burr is going to even be a significant impact to your business. But until you examine these numbers, you actually won't know either way. So it's important to know upfront. Do you need to worry about the price of burrs increasing? Chances are the answer is no, but you'll have to examine that and know for yourself. Everybody's business is going to be different. Some people use those kinds of burrs and go through a pack a week. Some people go through a pack a month. Other people go through a pack a quarter. So everybody's going to have a different answer as to what that impact will be. Similarly, some of you watching this video might not even be using gemstones, in which case a lot of your business might not be impacted by the upcoming tariffs, since gold and silver are not being subjected to the tariffs and taxes at all. For some of you, knowing your numbers is going to be understanding the impacts of these current increases in gold prices. The current increases in gold prices, I'm not going to lie, they are astronomical. This is the highest market I have ever seen in nearly 20 years in the jewelry industry. It's not great. And it is impacting a lot of businesses already who either hadn't adjusted their prices, hadn't adjusted their prices in time, maybe took an order before adjusting their prices, and it's creating a big cash flow issue. So, one of the other numbers that you can get to know and get really comfortable with is the cash flow in your business. It is the numbers that tell you when you need money on hand to pay the bills that you have and when money is coming in order to pay those bills. Knowing numbers like these can also help you be more strategic. Maybe you're in this position where you were planning to increase the number of pieces you were going to make in gold this year, but the gold prices are impacting your ability to develop and do the research and development on those pieces. Well, knowing some of your numbers will actually help you be more strategic. It will help you make clearer decisions about how to spend that money on gold so that you can still keep growing and advancing your business. And yes, of course, it is April 22nd in 2025, and we know tariffs are coming. We know tariffs will be impacting the gemstone trade. We have some idea of what that impact will be, but the news is changing constantly, and that information might change too. Okay, so knowing your numbers is very important, and it is often the place that I start even with artisans, because it's something that we have a tendency to neglect in favor of our art and artistry, which is totally understandable. It's why many of us got into this profession in the first place. But that actually leads me to tip number 2. We are also artists and artisans and craftspeople first, right? And sometimes we think of ourselves as business people second. And actually, in a time like this, leaning on your craft, leaning on your skills, leaning into this idea of yourself as an artisan who can learn new skills is a really great way to focus. Encouraging people to come to you for work that only you can make, that nobody else can make, that nobody else can get, enhances the exclusivity of your branding. And it helps bring people to you who might otherwise skip over because they're looking at the competition, right? If somebody has to compare a like thing to a like thing, they might try to decide based on price. If you can lean into your artistry, though, people will come to you because it's something that only you and your expressive vision can make. So, other places to focus your time and energy. Obviously, we are in a time of volatile gold prices where gold prices are extraordinarily high. So, in addition to knowing the numbers that I mentioned earlier and leaning into your artistry, there is no time like the present to do a pricing audit and ensure that you still have some profit margin and profit cushion at both your wholesale prices and your direct to consumer prices. Really, this is a practice that I encourage my clients to do even in a normal time. I encourage all of my clients to do pricing audits before a trade show, before a craft show. I have often in the past, even when gold prices were more stable, encouraged people to do pricing audits at least once a year. Given the current gold market, I am encouraging that pricing audit to happen more frequently to ensure that you are not losing money on anything. If this sounds like a lot, if this sounds like I'm telling you to do it all, in a way I am, but I'm not telling you to do it all at once. I would suggest taking a bite-sized approach. One of my favorite metaphors is that you can be like a mouse eating an elephant one bite at a time. So each day, just take a moment and do one thing. Maybe it's design a new piece. Maybe that one thing could be spot check your pricing on your most popular item. Maybe that one thing could be looking back at your budget to see what your budget was for tools in the past year. Take any one of these things and do one thing a day or one thing a week, and you will get there, I promise. Thank you so much for joining me. Please, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Thanks so much. Remember to hit like and subscribe to my YouTube channel.